Namaste, and welcome to Reiki Dojo. My name's Doug Hart, Sensei of Reiki Dojo, and let's get into one of the first topics I want to talk about in the dojo, and that is channeling. And I'm going to ask from my perspective, because when I first learned Reiki, there was nothing in the book, my manual, about channeling. Yet, it was brought up that some of the information about Reiki was channeled through somebody. So it was lightly brought up. And then recently, I have really been channeling. We'll go right into it. I channel Usui Sensei, and I'll be talking more about that in a moment. When I was really thinking about it, it was in this last week, this idea of really sharing this idea that I channel Usui Sensei. I went to a couple other people in the spiritual community and told them about it, and their response to me was like, yeah, what's wrong? It's normal. So that gave me a good one to come out, because there's a part of it that I want to share, and it's also if we get into Reiki and with the spirit and energy and all of this stuff. And the first thing I was shown in my Reiki class, it wasn't in my manual, but my teacher gave me a piece of paper. And on that piece of paper was a big word and the meaning. And that word was Namaste. Spirit I see in you is the spirit I see in me. I see the divine in you because I see the divine in me. For me, it's I see in you myself. And so, if you don't believe the Namaste thing, if you don't believe this idea of God is all is one, then, yeah, you can't even get into the channeling. Because for me, what it is when I go into meditation, which is part of Usui Sensei's practice of Reiki, insights come to you. And so where do they come from? I don't know. Man doesn't even understand really what consciousness is. To me, and what I've learned, it's just from the great out there, whatever God, Reiki, source, whatever it is. I also like to look into the logical, okay, why does this stuff work? Because I'm a guy. And so what I brought up and for myself realize is, okay, I've studied Usui Sensei so much. I have looked into the history of his life, and not just his life, the history of Japan and what was going on around there that would have influenced him. And then I've looked into what would he have learned? What is a dojo? What happened in the dojo? What went on in the dojo? What practices went from the dojo we know that all the way through, or that was lost? And so I put so much in my mind of who Usui Sensei was, that there could be a possibility that I'm influencing my thoughts of what Usui Sensei would be saying. And so maybe my own consciousness is influencing it. Yet, I haven't met many people who have studied Usui Sensei in the way I have. And in a couple upcoming lessons, I'm going to share with you the history of what I have found with Reiki and why I see these things in this way, and why a couple little things just tweaked. And also how in the last couple weeks, my whole view of Reiki has been changed because of one gentleman who went studying Reiki and has seen Usui Sensei's student manual. So even my views are continually changing. But back to the channeling. I believe that part of the reason I can channel is, one, because I have gotten to such a point in meditation where I can clear my mind out and to allow that to come in without much influence, I'll say. Two, I have studied Usui Sensei so much that as much as I know, I believe I know him. And so you put those together, and that creates what I see as the best source for me to channel energy of what he is the best for me. The other part of this is what is spirituality? And what is spirit? And the way I explain it is, spirit is all that is not solid within us. Our spirit is, if I say something negative to a person, they are just words, but yet that energy goes out. That's a spirit. And those words could influence someone, and it'll influence their life and the spirit of who they are. And it could influence their entire future. the spirit of who they are. So everything to me outside of not what is this physical body is their spirit. And this goes into my brother. He passed away. He committed suicide. But he was an amazing artist. He had a great sense of humor in his own goofy way. He took on a lot of stuff of David Letterman. Yet he was very deep in his who he was in his research, like me. And his real craft, besides beautiful drawing and artwork, was bookbinding. He was probably one of the... I'll just stop there. My brother's gone. My brother's dead. His physical body's gone. But for a moment, I just was off. I was experiencing my brother. I was experiencing his spirit deeper than anyone on this planet because my family's gone. And so right there, I was channeling my brother. There's no one on this planet that can channel his spirit more than me. And so the reality on this real earth is I channeled my brother. And it's not voodoo or anything. It's getting in touch with who they are, knowing who they are, sensing it, and then allowing that little bit of what I call woo-woo to come in, that bit that we can't explain. I was raised in religion. I was raised a Christian, and we were told to pray. And when we pray, see, it's me, the solid, wanting messages from out there, from something else to come to me. That sounds like channeling. Yet, I was told that I needed to ask something and look for a sign. There was the listen, but I guess because I'm more visual, I always saw the look, and so I always had to see something. And so once in a while I would see something. That's channeling. We just give it a different name and how it does. And I was given a very restricted way of it happening. So I'd love to hear feedback of what you think about channeling. You know, do you channel Usui Sensei? Because I believe everybody can channel Usui Sensei. It's just we have to really clear our mind, get out of the ego as much as possible, which is what I'm doing within this Reiki group, within this dojo, of refraining from teaching and merely sharing what has helped me in my life. And so these things have helped me in my life in understanding this. And I've gained so much insight that I'll be sharing with you and what I've channeled from Usui Sensei. So that's it. Please leave your comments. Let me know what you thought. Welcome. And if you have any questions, if you have any things about Reiki that you'd like me to think about, look about, and present to the group, you know, let's do it. I really want to, as I said, you know, you see it there in the picture. Let's deconstruct Reiki, because that's what Usui Sensei did. He saw the old world and he saw the new world coming in. That was coming in like a freight train, and he wanted to bridge the two, and that's what Reiki was. So that's it for now. Namaste.